Hello and very good afternoon to this edition of the Mutual Fund Eye. My name is Vandita Shivle and I'm here to revert back to the queries that a lot of viewers generally ask. So my query, this time the query is coming from Kani Desai. She's from Ahmedabad. Hello and very good afternoon, Kani. She's 28 years old and she has multiple layers to her question. Okay, so she's really scared to invest right now. You don't have to be scared, Kani. This is a part of market. We need to embrace it. Okay, so just be with this. Be with that mindset if you are coming in markets and investing in markets. But let's look at her questions now. So first question is it wise to invest in Yes Bank? Second, she's asking what's the real cause of the havoc that we are witnessing in the markets right now? And third, is it a good time to invest in mutual funds? Okay, Kani. So let's try to answer your questions one by one. First things first, is it wise to invest in Yes Bank? See, we all know what Yes Bank has gone through. So if I have to sum it up for you, it's a private sector bank. This bank was founded by Rana Kapoor and Ashok Kapoor. This was in the year 2004, like 16 years back. And if you look at the kind of, what's the nature of their business, they're into retail banking. They're also into asset management business. There's an administrator which is appointed by RBI. His name is Prashant Kumar. You would have received a couple of mails from him post the fiasco, from Yes Bank. So he's the administrator who's appointed by RBI. And the products are very much similar to other private banking groups credit cards, and they're into banking, insurance and all those kind of things. If you look at the capital ratio of the bank, it was approximately 17% in the year 2018. And what really went wrong with the bank, this was in the year 2014 to 2019. The bank went on a loaning spree, and that was increasing its advances, and that actually its advances rose to over 300% in, if you have to calculate from 2014 to 2019. What it basically means is that the NPAs of the bank were going up, right? The bad assets were going up. It actually went up to 7.39% in the year 2019, which is, the previous year. This was just very recently, in the month of September, I think. Reports were out, the quarterly reports. And if you really if you try to dwell deeper into it, you'll see that the loans were increasing. It was giving more of loans, but it was not receiving the payments back. And there's a timeline that is given to a particular person before it's classified as an NPA. An asset which is classified as NPA. Before 90 days, they need to clear the dues, which they were not receiving. Yes Bank wasn't receiving. So that actually increased its NPA. And they did not have enough provisions also to pay it off. So, it went through major crisis. And what we saw was that this was impacting the profitability of the banks, because advances were going up, they were not receiving the payments. So overall the profitability of the bank went down, and SBI now wanted to get into this mode of restructuring SBI to take up at least 49% stake in Yes Bank. So that's what you're seeing in the markets right now, that today it went up to 23% Yes Bank, and yes, it was on Monday that SBI went down to 3%. There were a couple of things which was happening with regards to LIC, SBI, because these are the two major companies which the PSU companies which RBI asked them to take a stake in this particular bank, Yes Bank. So there were a lot of things which was happening. In fact, it might acquire as well. What we saw was that Rana Kapoor was arrested on March 8th, and there was a lookout circular for even his family members, right? So there's a lot which is happening in that particular bank, in that particular space. So now the question comes, now that SBI is taking a stake in this particular bank, is it wise to invest in Yes Bank? Because obviously there's a drop in price, there's a drastic drop in price, so people are getting greedy and they want to buy it. But I would say here, Kani, that do not invest in Yes Bank. If you ask me, I have never asked anyone to invest in Yes Bank because of the value. It's very important to look at the value of the business rather than the price at which it is offered. I don't see value in this business. Even if the best banks acquire it, right now I don't see value in that business. I mean, I don't want to buy such a bank. In fact, I think since RBI has asked SBI to take it up, they have no other option. They are still looking at various things. But if you ask me, I don't see value in, if I don't see value in a particular stock, I don't buy it. Even if the price is 10 rupees, 5 rupees, I can buy multiple stocks because maybe there could be a value in future. But right now what I see is what Rana Kapoor has done. Looking at, we all know, the fiasco is not a very small fiasco. It's a very, very big fiasco. They have given loans to companies like DHFL, and there's so much happening. I mean, I don't really need to explain that because you must be aware of what Rana Kapoor has been doing. And investing in such a bank is not me. I don't support these kind of ideas, and I really don't support such people as well, because I don't think it was just Rana Kapoor. Maybe he was the main person of the bank and that's why he got arrested, but there could be many elements to it, and I don't want to invest in such a business. And so I would not even recommend people to invest in Yes Bank. A lot of people are seeing just the price, but the value is more important here, and that's why I would not recommend you to invest in Yes Bank. So that's my answer to your question. But if you still want, if you're just looking at price and you want to get into it, it's up to you. I would definitely not recommend Yes Bank to anyone. And in fact, I've never recommended also in my previous videos, if you see, or even if you talk to my clients, I've never recommended Yes Bank to them. Because I never saw value in their business. In fact, I don't even believe in our system's corporate governance norms. Of course, a lot of people say that it has got more stringent now. It's much better. It's developing. Yes, it might be developing, but still, I don't see value in our corporate governance norms. I don't see it's executed at a very strong level. So I need to really be extremely vigilant on which companies I'm putting my money in. And I would recommend the same to all the viewers and every investor who's watching it right now, that please value your investments. It's not just you're buying anything just because it's available at a cheaper rate. You don't buy things which are not worth it, right? So think about it, and then make your own decisions on that note, on that part actually. So let's move on to your second question, where you've asked me what's the real cause of havoc in the market. See, Kani, you need to understand there were multiple reasons of what's going on in market. The kind of turmoil we are witnessing is definitely one of the reasons is the Yes Bank fiasco, because the entire financial sector is under stress right now. There's so many things happening with regards to this sector. Moving on, there are global cues which are not at all positive. The entire global economy is down. Asian markets are down. Dow Jones is tanking. The kind of crash that we are witnessing, it's a global crash. So the global cues are not very supportive, and because of that, the markets, even Indian markets, are going down. The Sensex is not doing well. Nifty is not doing well, because anyways, all the companies are getting impacted. I think the second reason here is the coronavirus. Of course, we all know that it has been a long time now, and still, it's affecting a lot of things because it is impacting a lot of countries. The death rate because of this particular virus in other countries, including India, is drastically increasing. So that's another reason that markets are not doing very well, because a lot of activities have stopped. The trading activities have ceased because of this particular reason. The tourism industry is getting impacted, and overall, every little thing gets impacted. It does affect the markets on a bigger level. So definitely that's another reason. Another reason I see is the global crude oil prices. The crude oil prices today, it has recovered a little bit, but what we are witnessing is it is dipping. So it is a positive news for India, because it does impact the trade deficit. If the prices of crude oil, that gets too high, it does impact the trade deficit of our country, because we are importers. But here I would say the crude oil prices are impacting the entire economy, because there's a price war, which is, the price war which is happening between Saudi Arabia and Russia. So because of that, that's also impacting the overall economy, the bond markets, everything is getting impacted by that. So what you'll see from here on is, in the month of April, I believe that RBI will come up with more of rate cuts. So that would be an interesting move, and definitely we might see a rally in the bond market from here on. So definitely, and that's what is causing the real havoc in the markets right now. But don't worry, it's not a very big thing. I would not say that markets cannot recover from here on, because they're already recovering, and we will see that, we'll get back to normal. Just be patient and hold on to your investments. Coming to your third question, how do I invest? Is it a good time to invest? See, whenever markets are dipping, it's a great time to invest. I would say that. But yes, you need to be vigilant where you are investing, how you are investing, how you're allocating your assets, what's your strategy. Right now, when you are investing in mutual funds, use a staggered approach. Do not go for a tactical approach right now. And as I've always said, that be very, 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 very careful when you're selecting your assets, as in which class you're investing in. So diversification plays a very important role here. Have some amount in gold, invest in gold ETFs, invest in debt funds for that kind of stability, invest little bit in equities as well. So that's how your asset class has to be. I was just looking at the various funds which have done really well despite the kind of recession that we are witnessing in the markets right now. There are a couple of funds, with regards to the mutual fund industry, which has done really well. So first, it was gold funds that has given returns of over 35% in the last 1 year, and this was Invesco India Gold ETF. So that fund has done really well. The second thing that I noticed was long duration bond fund. This category also did very well despite the kind of volatility that we saw in the market. It's because of the rally that we saw in the bond market. Whenever crude prices go down, the bond prices, the prices of a bond, that moves up, and it does impact the yield. But if you look at the long-term bond fund, there are two particular funds that have done extremely well. One is ICICI Prudential long-term bond fund, and the other one is Nippon India Nivesh fund that has really done well. The third category which did really well was gilt funds. Gilt funds also did very well. These are the 10-year funds. The duration is around 10 years, and these funds have really done well because they have benefited from the kind of volatility that we saw in the market. So it's a good time to invest in these funds. Plus there was another fund category which is banking and PSU debt fund category, especially Edelweiss fund. In this category, they have done very well. They have given returns of around 11 to 12% even in this time. So that's what becomes more important. And people who have invested in equities as well as these funds, they have got a good diversification. We all know when the stock market crashes, gold plays a safer haven, right? So it's a part of tier 1 thing as well, tier 1 asset as well. So I would say investments in gold and debt funds becomes very important, Kani, and that's how you should be investing. You need to provide me with your complete details so that I can guide you in detail. But please don't be scared of markets. Whenever market dips, it's a great time to invest, Kani. So just try to invest and stay away from Yes Bank, I would say, and these whatever is happening with the markets right now, that could be longer, because definitely right now I'm pricing in even the crude prices. So of course we might see some tumble and fall in the market, but it's not for a long time. So don't worry, Kani, and all the very best with your investments. Viewers, don't be in a panic mode. Just hold on to your investments. Yes, maybe you have done a couple of mistakes earlier, but Warren Buffett, when we use his name, a lot of people like to say that I follow Warren Buffett, but it is during these times that you actually test yourself whether you're really a Warren Buffett follower, or you're just any other follower, or you're just going by the prices and what is impacting the markets. Because the major sell-off that happens in the markets is because of the panic that we create in the markets. So don't worry on that part. Just be vigilant, just be focused. If you have done value investments, if you trust the businesses that you have invested in, you have given them a capital thinking something in mind, you are helping them in raising their capital because you think it's wise to give them that kind of money, and it's wise to invest. So it's a win-win situation for both the things. Then just stick with it and just be vigilant on that front. Don't just go by what people are doing. You need to use your own mindset, and you need to use your own approaches to get to find a solution to such a problem, right? And all the very best with your investments, and I will see you again soon. Bye.